Okay, let's talk a little bit about using the stock tires on the car, whether you're just peeling off the originals, going to add some glue, put them back on, or you're going to try different compounds, or any aftermarket tire that has a rib that's molded for this wheel. If you look closely at first glance there, it looks even, but it isn't. You can tell. Yeah, you see it now. There's an offset, 3.80 here, 3.2 here, then you have your groove. And that means any tire molded for this wheel that has the groove is going to have a coinciding offset. So let's turn this tire inside out and we'll show you. So there you have it. You can definitely tell. See there? Now it's really clear. So you have to make sure that the orientation is correct when you put the tire on. How can you do that? Well, pretty easy, at least for the stock tires, is you can tell with this mold line. It's pretty faint, but you can see it. All these little cars have them. Now, what if they don't? What if you've sanded it and weared it off? Just flip it over, just like that, and look on the side, and you can tell the depth of the rib is different here to here. And of course, finally, it's installing it on the wheel. That's going to really tell you. So here we go. There we have this side, that side, and the tire. Okay. Now, we're not going to put it on correctly. We're going to put it on backwards, right? You see there? Narrow, wide. So we'll put this on. All right. But we have to press it on further for that rib to settle in the wheel. And there you have it. So you'll know right away if you made a mistake, because boy, that doesn't look good at all, does it? Plus, in the fronts especially, could cause some rubbing. So just make sure that you have the tire correct orientation. There we go. Now you're looking good. Another thing with the stock tires, you might have seen it, but I'll show you. Let's turn it inside out. Okay. And we'll get this again. Is flash molding. Come here, you stubborn thing. There we go. Right here, on the inside edges of these tires, you can have some flash molding, and that's like a P to a princess. All right. It's the tires aren't going to seat on the wheel as true as you want them to be with any of that flash molding there. So little sprue cutters and go around and just trim that off. Make sure that's cleaned off, so when you install the tires, they're as true and precise as you can get them before truing. Anyway, just be aware of that. I hope it helps you. So these wheels are a little different than ones you might be used to. They don't have a raised rib, and they don't have any flanges like the GT cars and other cars that Revoslot's released. They are smooth, and they just have this groove, and that's fine. With the stock tires, they have a rib right there, and once you slip that onto the wheel, they fit great. Sometimes you don't even have to glue them, although, yes, of course, most of you like to glue. With the Paul Gates tires, however, they are smooth. They do not have a rib, and that's fine. This groove comes in handy. You put your favorite adhesive right there, just get it inside the valley, slip the tire on, let it cure, let it dry, and you'll be good to go. All right, time to glue the tire to the wheel. With Paul Gates tires, you'll notice you have a smooth sidewall here, and you have a little bit of flash molding here where he pulls them from the mold. This would be the inside, so just have it set and ready to go. Now it's time to flow your adhesive in there. Any adhesive that's your favorite, that you're comfortable using, you use. E6000 is really good. I'm going to try some of that. It's really strong, yet when it comes time to change the tires, easily removed. You don't need a whole lot here, just a little bit. See, here's that groove coming in handy, right? Just filling it in there just like this. Again, you don't need a whole lot, just a little bit. Goes a long way. Just get that groove filled in there, and now sit here, slip the tire on, just like that. Now turn it upside down, press it down. Just make sure fully seated and flush. Just pressing on it like this will make sure it's flush. And then give it a roll just like that. A little bit of pressure like we've shown in the past. There we go. Looking really good. Nice and flush. Good to go. Now, let this cure for a few hours. Just depends on the adhesive that you use. Just make sure it's fully cured. Then we can get it in the machine, give them a quick chew. We'll be ready to race. So regardless if you're using urethane like the Paul gauge that you see here or the stock rubber, one thing you can do to reduce the risk of the tire to body contact is to contour the edges of your tire. Not only does it help with that, but it also helps the performance. So this is a sanded tire and it's been contoured, and we've got a nice round edge here on the outside of the tire, and we've also done just a little bit on the inside. But this part here, well, you know, that's where the clearance, that's where we have our issues. So you want to make sure you do that. This is the stock in comparison, and you can see the harder edges. So not only does that help with the contact issue, but it also helps performance. If you have some chatter in the corners and you're trying to figure out what it is, I can tell you, check this, because those hard edges on those tires, they tend to bite in the corners. At least they do in our wood tracks, and they can cause just a little bit of chatter. So it goes two ways. You're rounding these off to increase the performance, to smooth the car out, and to reduce the risk of tire to body rub. And it's easily done. Whether you have a machine or not, you know, it doesn't matter. You can do this by hand, just simple enough, and you can use just about anything to get the job done. I like to use these scouring pads, these super fine 3M pads. They're just flexible. They do the job. You can just use a scouring pad or just sandpaper, whatever you're comfortable using. And just a little bit, as our theme is, a little bit goes a long way. So we're just doing a little bit here on the outside. Again, we don't need a lot. And then, while you're here, just a little bit on the inside as well. Don't need a whole lot. Just trying to get that harder edge off. And there you go. I think you can see that contour now. So now we can chew the tire, finish that up, and then get the wheels installed on the car.